What's up, boys? Today we're going to be checking out the last Epoch Season 3. We're playing around with some Beastmaster, which is basically a melee and summoner druid combination. So we're working on building up a large animal horde here right now. There's also some interesting stuff you can do with a solo animal build, where you really just scale one of them up. And this big guy here is a new mechanic for the season. I actually just unlocked him recently, and he seems really cool, actually. You can actually sort of customize what abilities he has by what you add to him when he's an opponent. And then once you finally defeat him, once he's fully evolved, he'll have all of those abilities that you built up on them throughout the run. So pretty interesting there. He pops out every time I get like a boss or a champion or something below 40%, I think. And it looks like there's a bit of a cooldown since we only got him on one of the bosses we're fighting here. But that's on the necklace here. It's a guaranteed drop once you fight one of them at the end, so pretty cool there. Really fits the Primalist build, I feel like. But yeah, you can add in your Earthquake ability to your bear now. It does have a 50% damage penalty on him, but I'm assuming that lets you get around the mana cost on it since that's fairly high when you self-cast it. And there are some interesting things you can add to it on the tree there. I have a skill point to spend with that necklace as well. So over here, minus 50% damage, but you can also reset that every single time you cast Warcry or enter Werebear form. So if you put a bunch of your abilities into focusing on that, you can actually get the cooldown fairly low. For the build I'm doing here, I think I want to grab some more crit chance and multi for him. We're just making him hit fairly hard. This is my spammable melee skill. I'm just kind of having this as a buffer and an execute 14% kill threshold on that. My Raptor is actually sacrificing his own HP for massive damage on hits now, combined with that node. And then my Wolves, I'm trying to get over here so we can summon a few more of them. They're mainly to buff my other minions with their Howl, damage, attack speed, frenzy, and all. And then they do some extra AoE with that. Extra Wolf Companion over there, and then some big damage and extra stun chance. Beastmaster has a lot of different procs in their tree that you apply by meleeing. So I'm trying to build up the chances on those and also my survivability so I can get in there and survive. Need my tree over here. So I wanted to get this one. At 3 points, it will apply Aspect of the Shark and Boar to my companions, which give survivability and some huge bleed damage stats. And then Shark is like attack speed and damage. So that'll be pretty good. The aspect duration will make those have higher uptime once I get that one fully filled out. Nemesis, we can challenge this guy now. He's fully empowered. Just some decent drops there. Pop all of my minion cooldowns and hope they can buy some time for me. It's going to start doing his crazy poison stuff soon, so I'm going to focus on dodging that. Just letting my minions get some damage out. Then the Rift Beast is here, so we should be good. Just kite a little bit more. Man, that thing is so cool. I grew like 2 extra heads on him that like spit fire and frost. And then he has like a leap attack as well. I bet there's going to be people figuring out all kinds of crazy combos on those for your pet beast. Oh yeah, the main thing I wanted to try with this build is there are these new primordial uniques that are powerful and unique in that you can only have one of them equipped on your character. They have some pretty game-changing abilities sometimes, or just some pretty unique abilities that really alter how you play. There's a lot of minion-related ones, so both Beastmaster and Necromancer are going to be very interesting this season when you combine those with the reworks both of the classes got. So I'm going for a helmet that will summon a giant Tyrannosaurus. He'll get a bunch of scaling off of the different stats your character can get. He gains like different things for like strength, intelligence, attunement, all of those. So I'm going to do sort of a stat stacking build, see, and try to get the highest possible stats we can get on the T-Rex, basically. And then whenever he uses his roar ability every once in a while, he'll add a bunch of stats to your other minions, including a portion of those stats you granted to him. So that will also give a portion to all of my other beast minions on top of that. I might actually be able to show you the helmets, depending on which encounter this is. Yeah, once we get into that rift, you'll be able to see the new vendor for the season here. So the helmet I'm going for is this thing, Tyrant Skull. 2 to 3 all minion skill summons a Tyrannosaurus minion. He gains 3 melee damage per strength, 1% attack and cast speed per dex, 1% phys pen per int, 1% crit multi per attunement, 1% health and damage per uncapped endurance. And then when he roars, he gives your other minions 25 physical damage and 20% of those stats he gains. So I'm still grinding up the season resource we need for that. I'm at about a third of that, it looks like, at level 44. So I've been playing a few hours now. It doesn't seem that bad to get a pretty game-changing unique, I feel like. Need to do another bear point. I was going for the crit stats over here on him. You get the bones as you kill stuff in these little rift areas, and then there will be one of those rift beasts at the end of the tunnel, and we'll start choosing some evolutions and the rewards we get off of him. The Beastmaster leap attack is actually hilarious. If you use it on like the very corner of the screen, it doesn't actually seem to have a max range, it just goes all the way to your corner. Sometimes I'll like wait a bit until I can get a good corner angle on that just for the insane leaps you can get. Whee! Oh yeah, I think there is a little bit of a bug on this build. My Raptor is supposed to be auto-casting his buff ability whenever he encounters a boss or a rare, but that doesn't seem to be going off anywhere near as often as you would expect. It actually puts that on cooldown at like half time. So it does go off here, but I've been noticing that a lot of the time when I'm fighting bosses especially, it just doesn't seem to activate for some reason. Like, right there, can definitely go off, but I'm gonna manually use it here for the damage. Maybe it's only supposed to use it on them one time, but I've noticed it sometimes doesn't even do that. So we can give them lightning horns, flowering vines. So I put that on the first one. I guess we'll try some hornies on this one. Then we're up to 5,000 bones now. Not quite halfway yet. Whee! Yeah, I think there were actually some pretty big reworks to both the Lich and the Necromancer upgrades to the Acolyte class. So if you're into those archetypes, looks like a pretty good time to check out the game again. Lich got, I think, a new movement ability that is also quite good at proccing various spells on enemies, especially if you land any killing blows with it. Necromancer, I think their capstone summon, the Abomination, got a lot of changes. And it's easier to like keep it active and not have to resummon it now or something. Never really messed around in that one too much myself. Gladiator's Oath, don't think I care about that. It does have some minion stats there, but not a ton. I think I'll just banish that and look for some better stuff to empower. And then that gives us the 3-point bonus. That should be a pretty big damage boost, actually. I think they added another source of +1 minions over here. I believe you can get like 4 total companions on the Beastmaster tree as a whole now. You can also get a +1 over there. Or a +1 skills to all the minions. Oh yeah, I think they actually added another chapter to the campaign after the Snake Lady part, which is where it ended last time, I think.
I should not have waited so long to come here. I am stronger now.
We don't have
I am ready
but you
to
will speak
regain
they will
my
reveal the
honor.
path to Herod's temple.
Oh yeah, I actually did find some pretty good leveling uniques for the build. We got this thing with some extra health regen, but tons of bleeding stats. Primalist summons already have some decent bleeding synergy, so that's not bad. I got some boots with a massive 35% movement speed and 58% physical resistance. They do have a bit of a downside with shocking me when I stop moving, which is kind of hard to avoid on Beastmaster, but it's just so much movement speed and physical resist, I can't pass those up. Yeah, that's one interesting thing about the Beastmaster. Basically, all of their summons also have a unique active ability. So they're not just sitting there auto-attacking stuff. You can also reactivate them for the various effects. Rune Invocations, that's for Rune Master. Don't think I really care about any of that. Vanish again. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of a glitch with leap attack or fury slam. It'll sometimes just start the animation and then just cancel it, even if you're not doing anything sometimes as well. Seems to happen more often right at the start of a zone. Not sure exactly what's happening with that. Yeah, most of the time the portal appears, you just summon a copy of what you got the evolutions on him and fight him outside of there. It seems like every 3 or 4 encounters maybe, you'll go back into the portal and add another evolution, making them stronger but adding in more rewards. The extra duration's still pretty good. The aspect of the shark stuff is fantastic. I think I do want to level that up. Makes it easier to keep that buff up, and then it gives them even more damage and attack speed while it's active. Kind of just going around and grabbing all of those big bonuses to get them going first before filling out the rest of the tree. Those meteors will easily one-shot you if like more than one hits you, so might not be ideal to go in there, especially if you get stunned. These guys are actually super dangerous for melee characters. I've actually never had my companions die for the entire run, and they all got wiped out there, so yeah. Then I think there was one other thing over there. Ripped Beast versus Ripped Beast, but mine has more evolutions. There's actually a one-handed axe that sets your intelligence stat equal to your strength stat. I haven't seen a ton of synergy that would make that useful before, but I think the T-Rex is finally a pretty good chance to give that a whirl once I get to a high enough level to farm that. And it has a fantastic name as well, Cleaver Solution. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but one cool thing you could also do with the bear build is that since he gains your earthquake tree on his earthquake, there's actually a way if you go for the shaman class, they are the only one that gets access to the avalanche spell. And there's ways to make earthquake proc your avalanche and then avalanche proc your earthquake. So you could kind of have your bear be like this crazy spell looping thing. It might burn your own mana to do that, but it sounds really cool if you do like a single summon build that just obliterates everything by itself. Get a bit more shark stats. Fireball unique and poison unique. There actually is a poison primalist melee attack. I don't think I'm going to use it though. That doesn't really even buff your minions much anyways. Summon Wolf on a helmet that has minion critical. That actually could be useful. I don't know if I would use it over +1 max though. I might empower it just in case. I think that was every 3 portals then we teleport to it. Kind of hard to see with all the yellow grass out here. Firing vines from its shoulder that spits needles, a powerful bite attack, an additional head with a chilling bite. Oh, there's a bunch of different heads you can add to it then. I got one that spits magma and one that spits frost. And then there's some biting ones as well. Huh. Up to 6,000, almost halfway there. I think I went the wrong way here. Then 2 more points will allow me to summon a bunch of wolves. And 1 point after that, we can give them a leaping attack. That should be pretty nice. Raptor, he has the damage over here maxed out. Should have 100% uptime on that now. So I could increase the effect of it. It gives quite a bit of damage and attack speed, so that looks pretty good. I already have kill threshold on swipe, so I don't really need that. Damage in area is not bad. I'm not really building for fire damage, although turning him into a dragon raptor does sound really cool. There's a sword that actually lets you summon raptors up to your maximum companion limit, so there's definitely something cool you could do with that, but I don't think it really fits what I'm doing right now. Probably just improve the effect on that. Get some crits multi over there.
You're alive. And what? Damn it. You but okay.
Him a bit more crit multi. I focus the wolves. I think they're creating so much ice on the ground. Stop with the circles. Now we have allied circles too.
All that's left is locating the lance.
Not really going into poison. That's pretty good though. Extra crit multi for both of us, and then also on top of the aspect buff from that. Wouldn't mind going for the 4-point bonus at least over there. Yeah, like my Raptor's not even activating his ability there. I'm gonna have to manually cast it, and then it has the longer cooldown. And we just ran into a big boss here. So I mean, that's like the best time we can have it.
Finally. We have the... Tell me more of this immortal emperor on our journey.
It does say bosses, right? Yeah, boss are a rare enemy if it's able to. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to on that guy.
I know things are yet. All that is left is to take the lance and bless it.
Then we have that almost maxed out. I think we do max it out sometime in this act, if you do all the side quests. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I think I have a couple of good ones waiting. I've actually gotten pretty lucky with like the loot goblins and stuff with those.
Yes.
That's not terrible. That's actually... It's for Falconer, but the bottom two stats melee attack speed and melee fire to you and your minions. I think those two alone actually make it better than what I have. It's actually not bad for me, even though most of the stuff doesn't work. Not gonna use that. That's more minion damage, lose a lot of health on them. Does have 2 decent resistances though, I think that's not bad. Electrify, smite. Might save that for another character. Stun duration. That's not bad for a one slotter, has the double physical for minions and all. When killed to refresh random minion or companion ability. I have permanent uptime on the wolf basically. It would really just be raptors. And when I need that, I don't think I'm getting a ton of kills most of the time. Bleed and physical, that is quite good. Minion health on a minion base. I don't think I would replace mine, but I'll keep that just in case. I can't use that with someone in front of it. That one is quite good. Melee and stun chance. Shark is damage and attack speed. That's pretty good as well, if I can fit that in. And then another stun and bleed. That's pretty good. I don't need that, although aspect of the boar is not bad. Then we could do another 3 slaughter if I had one, but I guess not. That's really good. That one's pretty good for survivability, health, and resistances. And then we can really just do small ones, I guess. That's pretty good. Armor resistance, not bad. Damage over time, physical is pretty good. Dodge and poison. Elemental resistance, maybe. Actually, dodge and resistance is probably fine. Oh yeah, they made Rip Blood an AoE attack now, so it seems like it's a line attack there. That's one of the Acolyte basic abilities.
We should get to the coast. There's a settlement south, deep harbor. It has underground rivers that might take us there.
50% of health converted to ward when you cast Necrotic. That wasn't even close to me, and it almost one-shot me. Alright, I think that's going to be a decent place to stop for now. Beastmaster's pretty fun so far, and they've reworked quite a few things. You can get, I think, at least one more companion. You can get a ton of stats over there. That's going to go super nicely with the T-Rex helmet once I finally get that. And you get an extra companion on that. +1 minion skills over there will be pretty helpful. Bunch of aspect effects to buff them up a lot more later on, and then Shark to make that give a lot more attack speed and melee damage. Pretty cool so far. Can't wait to get the T-Rex helmet and play around with that a bit. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.